This is Kelvin, and welcome here in Acterex Media. And today we are going to we will be having our guest in studio. His name is Zadok, and we will be discussing a variety of topics. But the topic that we are going to touch on today is about youth leadership. Currently, Zadok is the assistant youth leader at Kisumu South SDA. And welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Please tell the audience your full names.
Thank you so much. I'm called Zadok Odhiambo.
Thank you very much. Mr. Zadok,
Yes.
We understand the youth and their role in church. According to you, what would you say that is the top priority of a youth in church?
It's wide. The leadership is wide and the youth thing is very wide. I just want to pick some points. I want to make it shorter. Like, the role of a youth in a church is to minister. You go out, source for souls, then bring them to Christ. I think that is the main purpose why we are being called the youth fraternity. Let me just call it fraternity because it is a large body that brings young people together as they minister to people outside there as they come to Christ.
We understand that the youth ministry forms part of the the ministry in general in church. Huh?
Yeah.
When it comes to ministering and getting souls, do you think this is something that needs to be handled with the utmost professionalism in the spiritual aspect, so that we can say this is something we leave for either pastors or people who have gone to theology schools or anything of the sort? What would you say about
Number one thing I would say is that Jesus came to die for us, and that redemption was fallen in every person that is living today. Let me just talk about that. Now in youth fraternity, whenever you are a born-again Christian, you are a Baptist member, or you are a member that is baptized in Christ, you are privileged, or you have that opportunity to go out there and minister. What we really need, or the
ultimate goal? Yes.
Yeah, exactly. We need is the power that Christ gives us through prayer. In fact, it is not just prayer, but through diligent prayers and faith in Christ that will make us to go. I can remember last time when we had a camp meeting, we were given, in fact, it was not a camp meeting, it was brought sometimes back. It was about, I will go as a topic, or as the main theme of this year. So as a youth, we are meant to go wherever we are called. So it starts from when we are born, when we are young, then we grow as we know that whenever I'm called to go out, there is no dema over that.
You've mentioned something. When we started, I asked you what's the role of a youth in church, and you've touched on something to do with a calling, spirituality. When you've received Jesus Christ, you have the power to minister. Remember, we are talking about youths. There are people who really don't know how to differentiate between, being called or being filled by Christ, being baptized. I'm sure you also have members, or if you've been in a regime before, you have members that are just youth members. They ideally are just belonging in that cohort, but they are not, you can't say that they are people who are spiritual. But however, along the way, they seem so active. They do 1 or 2, 3 in the youth ministry. And what can you say about this kind of people? Because according to me, when you want to go and search souls, you need that a call, that calling. There's some spiritual aspect involved. But then there's this cohort that just wants to come and serve. They are not, I can say, they are not spiritually strong. They are not spiritually fit to go and search for souls. What is the role of this kind of people, this kind of youths? What would you say?
You see, allow me begin.
This is also your time to try and reason out with them and you know, just put them in a place where they can still serve in church in as much as they can serve. So
allow me begin. You see, this age group we are in today, this world of technology of today, we have a lot of challenges as youths. I can't deny that we are not born again or they are not born again. They are staunch members of the church. We cannot repel them away from us. Number one, the youths that we have nowadays, they are able and willing to work. What they fear, in fact, we really need, let me first begin by saying, being a youth starts from, it is from 15 to age, until you get married. Let me just say that. You can get married and you are still a youth. I think you understand that. So, being a youth starts from that age of 15 up to when you will get married. Now you feel like you are a man enough. Now you are old. Let me just say you are old enough to carry up yourself. You see, at this age, this small age, 15 to 18, 20, 21, they fear. There is that fear. For example, now I am 26. How will a 15 or a 18 boy or girl, lady or man reason up with me? They feel like sitting with me on a table, discussing with me something will be hectic to them. Like, I'll be thinking above their standards. So, but we value them. We value them because there is that part they play in our church. Like, we have so many parts that we Christians need individuals in. Like, in that group, the youths, we have the ambassadors class. There's that class, we teach them the morals that are needed in the Christianity life. There is that group that sings, they sing. Yeah, there is that group again. When we need help as a church, you know, if you go to an organization where people are many, like a school, people take different roles. You see, when there is that manual work, I know you've gone to a school. One time you are in a school.
Because I'm a learned person.
Yeah, there is when there is a manual work, people work together. Like you carry out things together. At least you make it work for you. So this is the same thing we do in our churches. Like this small generation, you know how active they are while doing things. They are. Let me use this term. They are flexible more than the old people. You see, when, for example, when we are cooking something here, and I want a kiberiti, matchbox. I would rather send a 15-year-old more than sending a 26-year-old, because a 26-year-old will feel.
Is that flexibility or respect?
Exactly. That's respect and flexibility. I think they will just.
And I'll come back to you, Zadok, and the next thing I want us to discuss is challenges that face the youth in service in church.
Yes.
But to my audience out there, remember that this show is held to you courtesy of Arc'teryx Media. Arc'teryx Media is a production media. They do audio production, they do video production, they do photography, and anywhere you want, anything you want from them, they are able to offer. They say that you just have to trust the process and the quality that they can assure you. So if you want to reach out to Arc'teryx Media, go down there to Instagram page and look for Arc'teryx_media. We have Arc'teryx Media in Facebook, and we have in YouTube Arc'teryx Media. Coming back to you, Zadok.
Yes.
What do you think are some of the challenges that a youth faces in service at the church?
Allow me begin by saying this. We have a lot of challenges that we, or I as a youth, face. Number one, there is this thing called, let me begin by talking about peer. Because it has been
it's a major factor.
It's a major factor that surrounds it all.
Exactly.
Peer, you see, I would wish to do what people do outside there. You see,
Explore.
explore. You see, some people may sit somewhere. Let me talk about the pagans, if you'll allow me. They will sit
I hope the
somewhere.
pagans are not out there to feel offended. Okay?
Okay, I'm sorry to talk about the pagans. Those who are watching us, I'm sorry, but allow me talk about them today. When they would sit down outside there and enjoy their life, me as a youth that is active in the church, I would see and view their point at which they are living, and I would say that is their life. And I would be swayed, I would be like, I'm wasting time in serving God. Are you understanding that? So that peer, I feel like, why should I waste more time in worshiping, being in church the whole day when Manchester and which one do you know?
But you see, Manchester, usually the matches are played in the evening. You can still attend to church in the morning.
Oh, sometimes they play as early as the church is the church is on, but the peer, as you can see,
I understand what you say
Yeah.
I understand what you say by peer.
Yeah.
And in this case, I just want you to also outline some other factors, and then we can discuss them as depending on their importance. In this case, we are talking about peer. What could be some of the other challenges that
Okay,
they would
you want
face?
me to enumerate them?
Yeah.
Oh, enumeration is very easy. Number two, disobedience. Let me just talk about that.
Disobedience.
Yeah, to the youths.
Yeah.
So much rampant.
Is it a major factor?
It can.
No, we're talking about, is it a major factor? Like in
it-
your
it is
church,
a major
in your
factor.
church, is this something that you can address as a major issue?
Yeah, I can address it.
So
I can
how
address
is it a problem?
disobedience? You see, I expect when you talk to a guy or a boy or a man at your age group or age set, there is that communication flow. You expect that you get a recap or a feedback that can suit your levels. Then in this case, you will find that you are talking to somebody, at least you expect something positive. Then there is that outcome. There is that negative outcome that is
So when things get negative as a result of a response, then we can call that indiscipline.
disobedience.
Disobedience.
Yeah, that is disobeying the older generation or your age group members. You are disobeying what they are saying.
I know the topic is very wide, Zadok, and time might not be on our side.
Yes.
But you recently was elected assistant chair.
Yeah.
How does that feel for you?
At first I was shocked. I didn't expect to be one because I've been in the group anyway. Because
You've served for how long?
I've stayed there.
Oh, you've been a group member.
Group member,
But
not a group member. I've been acting or serving as a music director for the group.
Okay.
So when I was read that I'm going to serve as the vice chair, I was like, how am I going to carry this group? Like, how am I going to act? How am I going to expose myself to this? How am I going to rule this group? Like, you know, there are people who are above you ethically, there are people who are above you physically, there are people who are above you classically.
But what does this now mean to you now that you're elected the assistant chair? What does it mean to you?
It means a lot because what I'll say, it is God. It is God that maybe wants me to work for His children. And I accepted it because I realized that it is a cause that needs spiritual maturity. Yeah. So long as you have the heart to work in God's vineyard, we need to work. So I took it positively, and I'm always praying over the same issue because I know it is not by my own might to work, but it's God. If by any chance God is not in it, then I will just raise up my hand and say, and I'll just raise up my hand and say, no, I'm stopping this job. But I'm not going to do that because I've been praying over the same issue over and over again. But I'm so much happy because at one point I'm going to lead some group.
Amazing. One last message. Spend the last 1 minute and talk to the youths out there. Yes.
I've never been in front of a camera, but you'll excuse me. I want to tell the youths outside there, life is so much challenging according to how technology has bewitched the world. I would encourage those who are watching us now that if you have an opportunity to rule a certain group, or you are given an opportunity to be a leader somewhere, whenever it can be an organization where you work, it can be anywhere. Do it diligently and let God be your guide in everything you are doing.
Thank you very much, Zadok. Remember, it's me, your host, Kelvin Odiwuor, also known as Atodust. Stay tuned to the show, and remember to leave a comment down there. Give us topics you would want us to discuss. If you also have guests that you want us to call on board, just mention them down there, and we will bring them on board. Thank you very much, otherwise, guys, and see you next time.